In this video, we're going to look at the top 10 habits of successful music artists. And yes, this list could be a top 20 habits of successful music artists. I understand that. So before you jump to the comments below to say that I've missed something, you're probably right. There will be things that will not be in this list. But we've worked with thousands of artists over the years, from beginner to emerging artist up to professional level. And these are our insights and things that we've observed in artists who are being successful at what they're doing. These are also the strategies and habits that we tend to try to coach and teach artists that we think are the most beneficial to your improvement. And to clarify one more thing here, these are habits that we're talking about specifically. So these aren't just general character traits, because yes, obviously you need to be motivated and driven and have other personality and character traits that will help you succeed. Okay, so we're specifically talking about habits. These are things that successful artists tend to do. As you'll see, most of these habits are about becoming better and developing yourself, because ultimately success is a journey of development. If you want more videos on these kinds of topics that can help you improve on your journey as a music artist, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So let's get into it. Habit number 1 is daily practice and creativity. Successful music artists tend to write and play and create all the time, constantly, whether they feel like it or not. So this is what drives a constant level of improvement in terms of your singing, your performing, your playing, your writing, your songs, your recordings, and so on. Okay, these are the development of your core talents. And you may not see it that way because it might just be the things that you enjoy doing anyway, but the difficult part about it is doing it constantly, all the time, consistently, whether you feel like it or not. It's not good enough to only indulge your talent from time to time and have long breaks from it. It's also not good enough to only do the things that you enjoy. So part of your development should involve focused practice and focused learning, where you are acquiring new skills, enhancing your talent and developing yourself and your skill set so that you are constantly improving. Because that's what all great artists are doing, is they're constantly trying to get better. Which leads us to habit number 2, experimenting and taking creative risks. Successful artists innovate and evolve. They try new things and they don't just stay in their comfort zones. Part of being an artist is the endless search for better ways to communicate your artistic vision. You should therefore be purposefully trying to move yourself forward in this way and find new ways to articulate your own artistic perspective. It is by trying these new things, experimenting and evolving, that you are more likely to cultivate your own original sound and something that audiences can understand and recognise as being fresh, unique and different, that can mark you out as an artist. Okay, habit number 3 is keeping a notebook of ideas or a journal. Successful artists tend to try to capture concepts and interesting thoughts or lyrics, melodies, any of these kinds of things as and when they come to them. There's one thing I've noticed over the years of being in the company of creative people, and whether that is writers or artists and musicians or even stand-up comedians, these kinds of people, is that what they'll do is as soon as they get an idea, out will come the notebook and they'll start writing something down. And you could be in the company of them doing anything. You could be driving a car, in a restaurant, in a bar, watching TV. Out comes the notebook. They've had a thought. They write it down immediately. Obviously, most artists tend to use their phones now these days, so it's a little bit harder to spot these moments of inspiration when they come, but they're definitely there. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that if you are not capturing these kinds of moments of inspiration and ideas as and when they come to you, you're not going to be fulfilling your potential as an artist in general. Because I'm convinced that really most creative people are just very thoughtful people, and therefore you need to be able to capture these thoughts as and when they come to you. Next up, number 4, surrounding themselves with other creatives and network. Successful artists tend to have great insight into their own artistic community and the part of the music industry that they're operating in or aspire to operate in. So they'll collaborate with artists, co-write with them, share music, attend each other's gigs, support each other, this kind of thing. By placing yourself in your artistic community will provide you with a few benefits. Firstly, it allows you to gauge your own music and performances and to even get feedback on your music and performances. This really can help you with understanding where you fit into things within your artistic community and your part of the industry. It also gives you ideas of what other people are doing and opens up a whole new world for you, which you don't get when you're working in isolation. So most artists tend to be quite isolated when you're first starting out and you're not part of a community. So therefore it's quite difficult to see where you fit into things and you are just creating things in kind of your own bubble. So by surrounding yourselves with your artistic community, it really helps to take you out of that slightly isolated state that you're normally going to be in. And secondly, having this network of artists is going to provide you with a scene from which you can emerge as an artist yourself. Okay, they're going to be operating in a part of the industry that's going to be highly suited to you. There will be audiences that they have that are more likely to like you. So get out there and meet people, make friends, attend gigs, introduce yourself to people. And this doesn't all have to be face-to-face either, okay? Use social media, get online, reach out to people, share things, okay? Follow and connect with your peers. Okay, habit number 5, seeking feedback and constructive criticism. Successful artists understand that it's very difficult to critically assess your own music and performances, and they will seek out advice and guidance and feedback from others, people they respect. So this is a very important part of your development too, and you should be doing this, okay? Successful artists will take on board things that are said to them. They will not see it as a negative, but as an opportunity to grow, okay? And although not all advice and guidance will be relevant or worthwhile, I've always found that deep down, when someone speaks truth to you in this way, you know, okay? Because these are the things that you feel about yourself already most of the time. So successful artists will take on board this and they will incorporate that kind of guidance, advice and feedback into their growth and development. It's very noticeable to us when we first start working with new artists or teaching new artists, especially those that are at the beginning of their journey, just how isolating it can be for them. Usually they're not in the music industry, or they might have a different day job. They won't have friends who are musicians at this point in time usually. So they're kind of creating music and writing and developing themselves in a fairly isolated bubble. And trying to pass judgment upon yourself as to where you are in your journey can be very difficult to critically assess where you are. So seeking out professional guidance and help really opens up and accelerates your development. On to number 6, setting goals and being organised. Successful artists set clear goals for themselves and have a plan. They'll set goals for their career, for their creative development, and they'll have a structured pathway to follow to achieve it. Now, most artists tend to think that they have goals, but really mostly these are sort of visions and or dreams, if you want. They'll be that they want to be a successful artist or play a huge gig somewhere or sell a certain number of records. Okay, so yes, it's great to have these visions and to have these dreams and end goals that you want, but successful artists will tend to have a set of smaller goals and a very, very clear pathway of what they can achieve with a time frame within which they intend to achieve it. Having goals tends to be part of a trio of ingredients that create success, and that is goals, drive and confidence. Okay, so by creating the goals, that helps to give you some drive to try to achieve something, especially if they are short-term achievable goals. Okay, when you achieve that, that helps to give you the confidence to set further goals and to continue in the journey that you're on. Okay, so it's really important that you do set out clear, measurable goals over time for yourself to follow. Okay, because success doesn't just come to you, it's something that you work towards over time. Speaking of building over time, that leads us to number 7, which is thinking long term. They know that to have a sustainable career takes time to build. They also know that they will need to make decisions that are based on legacy building rather than short-term hype or vanity metrics. More importantly, this allows them to make better decisions for career longevity. So, for example, when it comes to deals with labels or publishers, say, they're more likely to make choices that are going to be better for them in the long run than just chasing the biggest short-term payday that they can get. This long-term approach is why successful artists invest in themselves in all sorts of ways. They'll invest in improving their skills and improving their talents. They will learn new things. They will invest their time into developing themselves. Plus, they'll also reinvest a lot of their money back into creating new music, creating videos, creating content, and having great release campaigns and so on. Okay, they understand that this is a long game and they're working over time to achieve it. Okay, habit number 8 is consistent work ethic. They understand that to be successful and monetize your music is the same as starting and running a business. Okay, they treat it like a job because it is a job, and you have to show up dedicated and professional every day, whether you feel like it or not, and make something happen. Also, the sheer variety of tasks involved in achieving success mean that you need to be adaptable to learn and develop yourself in lots of different ways. Okay, you can't just do the things that are fun to do. Okay, so being an artist can be a fun job, but it is still a job. It's quite noticeable when we work with new artists who are just starting out, how they haven't quite got the concept of the fact that you are trying to start your own business and run a business. Whereas when we work with artists who have professional level incomes already, they totally get that they're running a business. They are getting up every day and making sure things happen and that the business is operational. Okay, if you don't keep up that sort of momentum, okay, what you've got going on will stall. There is no doubt about that. And it's also not good enough to think that once you start finding success, well, then you'll start working harder at it and pushing yourself, because the reality is you already have to start doing all these things and pushing yourself and working harder and being dedicated to get the success going in the first place. One thing follows on from the other. Okay, habit number 9, embracing failure and learning from mistakes. To achieve success, you are going to have to make lots and lots of mistakes. Having the tenacity to keep going and try again over and over is the only way that you're going to create the longevity that you're going to need to become good and achieve success. This goes for all aspects of your development and artistry. For example, if you're a songwriter, you should have way more songs that you've written that you will discard and never use than songs that you actually end up releasing. Okay, because it is only by writing loads of songs that are terrible, okay, and loads of songs that are very near misses, that you are going to create enough quality of material that are good enough to find the success that you need. It's only by creating lots of failures that you're going to create successes. It's only by trying lots of things that don't work that you're going to eventually find the things that do work. I've worked with many artists that have held back releasing music, sometimes for years, even decades, or they've not made decisions to release music because of the deals that they weren't sure about that they were signing, or they've overthought something so much because they're trying to achieve some kind of perfection in some way before they feel that they can advance or move forwards. Okay, that will just keep you frozen in time and you'll never get anywhere. There isn't a perfection. There is just lots and lots of working to try to achieve things, and some of it will be successful for you. Okay, so free yourself from thinking that you're going to find this one moment when it's all perfect and it aligns to actually move forward with anything. Okay, free yourself from worrying about that. Embrace your failures and move forwards. Okay, well done for sticking around to the end. We're nearly there. Finally, habit number 10 is mastering the business side. Successful artists understand that they're a business and they want to learn how to run their business better. Okay, this involves them understanding their finances, how a business operates, working with people, negotiation, everything in between. They usually want to learn about the industry. They will ask questions. They won't just sit back and let other people make the decisions. Okay, they're happy to ask questions and they don't care if they look foolish. I'll let you into a little secret. I know loads of people in the music industry that seem to know very little about the music industry, even the sectors that they're working in. So don't worry about looking stupid, okay? Most people keep quiet because they don't really want to reveal that they don't have much knowledge. But as an artist, you're not really expected to know all about the business side of things. So just get stuck in and start asking questions, okay? No one's going to think anything less of you. I have more respect for an artist when they ask questions about things and they want to learn about stuff because they're protecting their own interests, okay? It's a sensible thing to do. All right, so don't be afraid of speaking up for yourself and finding out what's going on around you. It's important that you understand how your business is running, and it's important that you understand certain parts of the music industry. That's where your income's going to be coming from. You need to understand your revenue streams. You need to understand how your campaigns work and what it is that you're trying to achieve and what your overall strategy is, okay? You need to be on this. You should always be in charge. You are always running your own show. So talk to the people around you. Ask questions, read books, gain knowledge. This is how you're going to understand how to run your business, how royalties works and contracts work, and the deals that you're signing up to. I hope you found that list helpful. Obviously, it could go on, and there are many other habits, but these are the ones that we've observed in the successful artists that we've been around. If you've got other ideas, please do comment below or let us know what you think about this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.